The soldiers assigned to the governor took Jesus into the governor's palace, and there they assembled the whole brigade so they could have some fun. They stripped Jesus and made him put on a red cloak, a red toga, and then they plaited a crown of thorns and pressed it onto his head. And they put a stick in his right hand for a scepter, and then they knelt before him in mocking reverence. "Bravo! Oh, bravo, King of the Jews," they said. And they spat on him, and they beat him across the head with the stick. Then they took off the toga, and they put his own clothes back on him. Then they proceeded to crucifixion. Along the way, they came across a man from Cyrene whose name was Simon, and they made him carry the cross of Jesus. And arriving at Golgotha, the place they call Skull Hill, they offered him a mild painkiller, a mixture of wine and myrrh. But when he tasted it, he wouldn't drink it. And after they'd finished nailing Jesus to the cross, and they were waiting for him to die, they whiled away the time by throwing dice, and they divided his clothes into lots. And above his head they posted the criminal charge against him. It read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." And along with him they also crucified two criminals, one on his left and one on his right. And people walking along the road jeered, and they shook their heads in contempt and in mock lament, and they said, "You brag that you could break down the temple and rebuild it in 3 days? Come on then, show us your stuff. Show us what you're made of. If you're really the Son of God, come down from the cross." And the religious leaders and the high priests and the scholars, they were right there as well. They were mixing it up with the rest of them. They were having a great time poking fun at Jesus. "He saved others," they said. "He saved others. He can't save himself, can he? King of Israel, is he? Then let him get down from the cross. We'll all become believers then. He was so sure of God, wasn't he? Well, let God rescue him now." That's if he wants him. He did claim to be God's son, didn't he? And even one of the two criminals dying beside Jesus joined in the mocking.